What if you woke up tomorrow on a completely alien planet? The atmosphere is freezing and smells heavily of ozone. Massive, terrifying prehistoric shadows move in the distant fog. You frantically look around for a city or lights, but there is only a brutal, endless wilderness. This is not science fiction or dark outer space. This is your own home planet Earth, as it looked 30,000 years ago. To your ancient ancestors, the world was flat, giant, unpredictable, and filled with horrifying cosmic magic. Welcome to the official channel called The Red Tie. Today we experience the shock of prehistoric Earth. Step outside the dark safety of the limestone cave. The first massive difference was the scale of life. Prehistoric nature operated on an absolute giant level. You would not see standard deer or small rabbits. Instead, you shared the path with true monsters. Mammoths stood 4 meters tall, like hairy houses. Woolly rhinoceroses moved like armored military tanks. Even the regular rodents were completely out of control. Giant prehistoric beavers grew to the size of bears. They built dams that flooded entire modern valleys. Humans felt incredibly tiny in a world of giants. Look at the shifting borders of the continents. Ancient humans did not have stable permanent maps. They lived during the peak of the Ice Age. Massive sheets of glacial ice covered the planet. These glaciers were 3 kilometers thick, like frozen mountains. The heavy ice trapped huge amounts of liquid water. Because of this, sea levels were drastically lower. You could literally walk from England to France. The modern North Sea was a vast, grassy valley. But when the climate warmed, borders changed instantly. Entire ancestral hunting grounds sank beneath sudden oceans. The Earth was a moving puzzle under your feet. How did ancient humans survive the terrifying nights? Modern humans have never experienced true, absolute darkness. Today, cities glow with electricity and street lamps. But in the Paleolithic, darkness was a physical wall. If clouds covered the moon, you saw nothing. You could not see your own hand before you. Your entire world was a tiny circle of campfire light. The fire diameter was only 3 meters wide. Everything beyond that circle was a black, roaring abyss. Eyes of apex predators glowed in the shadows. Darkness was a living entity that wanted to eat you. How did ancient humans explain scary celestial events? They did not have telescopes or basic science books. The night sky was a giant canvas of gods. When a total solar eclipse occurred, panic hit tribes. The golden sun would suddenly disappear during broad daylight. The warm afternoon instantly turned into freezing pitch blackness. To a caveman, a cosmic monster was eating their god. They screamed and beat drums to scare the beast. Sometimes the sky would ignite with neon green aurora waves. They believed these lights were dancing paths of ancestors. The sky was alive and it was always watching. The fifth incredible phenomenon was the massive wall of fire. The Ice Age plains were extremely dry and windy. When lightning hit the grass, megafires erupted instantly. These massive wildfires were the size of entire countries. Smoke blocked out the sun for many long weeks. A wall of fire moved faster than horses run. Ancient humans had to run alongside terrified mammoths. They fled for hundreds of kilometers just to breathe. They did not understand oxygen or natural sparks. They believed the earth was punishing them with fury. Fire from heaven was the ultimate prehistoric nightmare. The sixth massive difference was the intensity of weather. Prehistoric seasons were not mild or predictable. The climate produced super blizzards of nightmare proportions. Winds screamed at 200 kilometers per hour. The air was so cold it froze lungs instantly. Tribes had to huddle inside deep limestone caves. They burned dry mammoth bones for fuel to survive. If the fire went out, the entire lineage ended. Summer was short and filled with massive muddy floods. The melting glaciers destroyed entire valleys in an hour. The weather was an active war against humanity. The seventh terrifying phenomenon was the seasonal megafloods. Spring in the Paleolithic was not a peaceful time. When the massive ice sheets began to melt slightly, rivers transformed into unstoppable, roaring walls of destruction. Water levels could rise 20 meters in one afternoon. Calm valleys became vast muddy oceans over a weekend. Giant blocks of ice floated like deadly military ships, crushing ancient pine forests into simple, broken splinters. Tribes had to scramble up high rocky cliffs instantly. If a family reacted slowly, they disappeared forever. The life-giving fresh water was also a killer. The Earth also hid horrifying invisible biological traps. Ancient hunters had to navigate highly deceptive landscapes. They would find vast, flat fields of green moss, but beneath the moss lay deep, liquid asphalt pits. These natural tar traps looked like normal solid ground. Massive mammoths would step inside and sink slowly. They screamed in panic as the earth swallowed them. The tar preserved their bones like a dark museum. A caveman walking by saw a field of bones. It was a stark reminder of nature's invisible claws. The ground itself could trap you without warning. How did humans handle sickness on this dangerous planet? There were no modern hospitals, pharmacies, or basic antibiotics. Every scratch from a cave lion could mean death. So humans turned the wild earth into a laboratory. They discovered that certain toxic mushrooms stopped infections. They used boiled willow bark to fight deadly fevers. Shamans even performed complex skull surgeries using sharp flint. They cut holes in bone to relieve extreme pressure. Miraculously, many patients survived these brutal, primitive operations. Human intelligence was the only shield against invisible diseases. They fought bacteria with raw observation and courage. There were also strange whispering places inside the earth. Ancient humans frequently explored deep, complex cave systems. Inside these dark tunnels, sound behaved like pure magic. A simple whisper would echo for several minutes straight. The deep caves had sections with intense natural infrasound. These invisible low frequencies caused sudden dizziness and hallucinations. Cavemen believed these chambers were doors to other dimensions. They painted sacred animals precisely on the acoustic walls. They used the Earth's natural resonance for shamanic rituals. The underground world was a palace of heavy mysticism. How did humans measure distance across this giant planet? They did not have kilometers, miles, or digital navigation tools. Distance was measured entirely in human physical struggle. A landmark was 3 days of heavy walking away. A river was a dangerous crossing of swimming survival. A mountain range was a 2-week test of climbing agony. The world felt infinitely big because travel was slow. Most humans never went further than 100 kilometers from the exact place where they were born. The horizon was the absolute edge of known reality. Everything beyond the next valley was dangerous myth. Look at your tiny organized world one more time. We have tamed the forests and mapped the oceans. We have explained the eclipses and the black nights. But we lost that incredible sense of cosmic wonder. Our ancestors lived in a world of giants and magic. They survived the ice, the fires, and the monsters so that you could hold your smartphone safely today. Hit the like button right now on this video. Subscribe to the unique channel named The Red Tie. Keep exploring the deep, wild history of our planet. See you in the next historical story very soon.